Bonjour, bonjour. It's the present tense of tenir. To hold, tenir is conjugated like venir. Tenir is super useful, super pratique et essentiel comme le pain et l'eau. Tenir is used in many handy and funny expressions in French. Par exemple, se tenir les côtes, to split one's sides laughing. Tenir in the present tense, it's like venir. Can you remember how to conjugate it? Je tiens, tu tiens, il, elle, on tient with a T this time. Here's the change because nous and vous follow the spelling of the infinitive. Nous tenons, vous tenez. Then we're back to the splitting, the IE, il, elle, tiennent, double N, tiennent. In the present perfect, it uses avoir, not like venir, which is a VIP verb. Tenir uses avoir. Avoir tenu. It's unusual to have the U with an IR verb. The imperfect uses the stem of nous. So the stem for the imperfect, the wasing and the were-ing past tense, the continuous past tense, the used to past tense is TEN. Okay, je tenais, tu tenais, il, elle, on tenait, nous tenions, vous teniez, il, elle tenait. The imperative. Tiens, tenez, tenons. And now the beautiful subjunctive, which uses the il, elle, the they conjugation. You take off the ENT and you use the stem of the they conjugation. Par exemple, il faut que je tienne, que tu tiennes, qu'il, qu'elle, qu'on tienne, que nous tenions, que vous teniez, qu'il, qu'elle tienne. Notice how the they conjugation in the present tense and in the subjunctive are the same. Using to. Why are you holding that cup like that? Pourquoi tu tiens cette tasse comme ça? Vous tenez votre fourchette d'une drôle de manière, d'une drôle de façon. What does that mean? You're holding your fork in a funny way, or you hold your fork in a funny way. They're holding their knives in a funny way. Ils ou elles tiennent leur couteau d'une drôle de manière, d'une drôle de façon. Okay, to hold someone's hand is constructed in a different way in French. You say tenir la main à quelqu'un. You've got an à. If you're talking about à a person, there's going to be a lui-leur situation, a chuckle brother time. I hold his or her hand to cross the street. See if you can work it out. Je lui tiens la main pour to, in order to is pour traverser la rue. I always hold her hand to cross the street. Je lui tiens toujours la main pour traverser la rue. Using to, why don't you hold my hand anymore? Pourquoi tu ne me tiens plus la main? So, reminder of all the pronouns, indirect, the chuckle brother ones. To or for me, me. To or for you, te. To or for him and her, lui. To or for us, nous. To or for you, vous. Nous and vous never change, look all along. And to or for them, leur. The chuckle brother, lui, leur. To me, to you, lui, leur. Direct object pronouns are exactly the same except for him, her, them, which is le, la, les. And then the reflexive pronouns, myself, yourself, etc. Here we again, it's the same, except for himself and herself is se and themselves is se. Hold it! Now you hook on your pronoun with a positive command using to. Tiens-le, or if it's a feminine thing, tiens-la. Hold his hand using to. Remember, it's to him. Tiens-lui la main. Hold her hand using tu. Same again. Tiens-lui la main. Let's hold hands. Tenons-nous la main. You can say by the hand as well in French. Par la main. Tiens, tenez. What does it mean? It means hold, doesn't it? Hold. But the French use tiens or tenez to say, here you are when you're handing something over to somebody. Have this, hold this. Tiens-le bien. What does that mean? Hold him, or something masculine, it, well or tightly. How would you say hold them well or hold them tightly? Tiens-les bien. Hold me using tu. Tiens-moi. Je te tiens. I'm holding you, I've got you. Have you got me? Using tu. Tu me tiens? Using vous. Have you got a good hold of them? Vous les tenez bien? Have they got a good hold of him? Il ou elle le tiennent bien? Tiens. Here you are. Tiens. Well, look. Well, looky here. Wow, really? Tiens is used in a lot of expressions. Tiens, les voilà enfants. Look, here they are at last. Tiens, tiens, Monique est là-bas. Well, well, Monique's over there. All in the tone of voice. Tenir is a verb that can be used if you have or if you run or keep a commerce. Think of a shopkeeper. If you run a shop or a restaurant, for example. So, le père de Julien tient un magasin à Lamballe. Julien's father has or runs a shop in Lamballe. How would you say then? They run a restaurant in the town centre. Ils ou elles tiennent un restaurant ou un resto au centre-ville. We run a pizzeria near to the beach. Pizzeria, feminine. Nous tenons une pizzeria près de la plage. Or using on tient une pizzeria près de la plage. Tenir as keep. It's often used to mean keep. What does this mean? Tenir hors portée des enfants ou hors de la portée des enfants. You'll see it on packaging. For things that children shouldn't touch. To keep out of children's reach. La portée is the reach. Tenir quelqu'un occupé. To keep someone busy, occupied. Bien tenir sa maison. To keep one's house clean. A housekeeper, be a good housekeeper. Tenir au frais. You'll see this on packaging as well. Keep cool. Éveiller is awake. Réveiller is to wake up. Éveiller is awake. Coffee keeps me awake at night. Le café me tient éveillé la nuit. My children keep me awake at night. Mes enfants me tiennent éveillé la nuit. Another expression is tenir à l'œil. Tenir à l'œil. To be in the eye of the beholder. It actually means to keep an eye on. Watching and watching you. Keeping tabs on. That's a funny English expression, isn't it? Keeping tabs on. Je te tiens à l'œil, toi. I'm watching you, keeping tabs on you. Using vous. Are you keeping tabs on me? Vous me tenez à l'œil. Hey, hey. To keep company is the same. Tenir compagnie. I only have my dog to keep me company. J'ai seulement mon chien pour me tenir compagnie. Now there's another way you could say it, which uses a really pathetic negative sandwich. The ne, que, it's really limp because it means only. It's like, only this pathetic little limp sandwich, the ne, que, used a lot for meaning only, but it's negative. Je n'ai que mon chien pour me tenir compagnie. To keep in mind, take into account, to consider, tenir compte de. You cannot hear the M, you cannot hear the P. Tenir compte de. He's taking into account what you just said using vous. Just remember. Il tient compte de ce que vous venez de dire. Just the present tense of venir followed by de. And then the infinitive. Why don't they take into account what I just said? Pourquoi il ou elle ne tiennent pas compte de ce que je viens de dire? Here we have a river with lots of info signs to keep informed, updated about. A current in a river, current affairs is tenir au courant de. She's keeping me informed about everything. Elle me tient au courant de tout. Using on and vous will keep you updated about everything. Remember, with the we will, it's the future tense in English, but in French there is a future tense, but we're not doing that now. But you can use the present tense to convey the future in French. On vous tient au courant de tout. To keep a promise, tenir une promesse. I came to keep the promise that I made. Je suis venu pour te tenir la promesse que j'ai faite. Now, why is it faite? They have a silly rule in French that if your direct object in the present perfect tense, the past tense, comes before the past participle has to agree with that direct object. The direct object here is la promesse. It goes before the past participle of faire. So now the past participle has to be fait. Normally this rule doesn't matter because you can't usually hear the difference, but here you can. I came to keep the promise that I made to you, using tu. Je suis venu pour te tenir la promesse que je t'ai faite. Using vous. Command time. Keep me informed. Tenez-moi au courant. Hold this ladder for me. Ladder is échelle, feminine. Tiens-moi cette échelle. For me, Chuckle Brother. Tiens-moi cette échelle. Me and te in the positive command become moi and toi and get hooked onto the verb with a hyphen. Let's keep tabs on him. Tenons-lui à l'œil. Using tu. Keep me company tonight. Tiens-moi compagnie ce soir. So, tenir, like a statue, like a big Buddha statue, where you do not move, is tenir, inferring en place, not moving, is to stay in place. Keep still. Stay put. L'échelle ne tient pas. L'échelle ne tient pas en place. The ladder isn't staying put. It won't keep still. She can't keep still. Elle ne peut pas tenir en place. In French, it's very common to get right into the verb and say elle ne tient pas en place. Je ne tiens pas sur un pied. I can't keep still on one foot. I can't get my balance. La neige ne tient pas. Let's get poetic. It's not staying, we say. Settling. The snow isn't settling. Le plan tient toujours. Is the plan still on? Le grand plan. Les fleurs ne tiennent pas. Think, think, think. The flowers aren't lasting. So it's not often a word-for-word translation. You have to go poetic sometimes. To stand up, make sense of, to hold up. Tenir debout. Debout is the standing bit, means on end. Tenir debout. Je ne tiens pas debout sur ce ferry. I can't stand up on this ferry. He's drunk too much. He can't stand up anymore. Il a trop bu. Il ne tient plus debout. Their story doesn't hold up. Their story doesn't make sense. Their story does not check out. Leur histoire ne tient pas debout. To hold tight, to hang on, to stand firm, to hold one's ground, tenir bon. Tiens bon, Julien! Hang on in there, Julien, stand firm. Hold on tight. Then the other one is tenir bien, which means to hold well. This is the durable one. Last well, be strong. Take well, tenir bien. Julien can't take beer very well. Julien ne tient pas très bien la bière. A hit, a blow, a shot. It's also a strike, or like a little tick, is un coup, coup, masculine. It's used a lot in French, this. Coup, coup, coup. To take it, endure, stand, cope, tough it out. Tenir le coup. She's not coping. Elle ne tient pas le coup. To hack it, stand the heat, get through it, withstand, hold up. Tenir le choc. Remember, CH is a sh. Choc, like chocolat or chat or chien. And the word choc obviously does mean a shock, but also impact or a crash, masculine. Are they holding up? Ils ou elles tiennent le choc. To drive well, be durable, function well, go the distance, be credible, hold water, tenir la route. Your story isn't credible. Using to, story is feminine. Ton histoire ne tient pas la route. Why is it ton? Because it starts with a mute H, which acts like a vowel. So even if your noun is feminine, if it starts with a vowel or a mute H, now you have to use the ton or the son or the mon, the masculine one. Too many vowels together, otherwise they don't like that, except when they do. Another way of showing that you simply don't believe somebody is to say mon œil. You don't even have to say mon œil if your parents are around. You can just go, don't believe you. This car drives well. Cette voiture tient bien la route. To play the gooseberry or the third wheel. In France, you hold the candle, la chandelle, tenir la chandelle. I'll just be here then, holding this. I see. I'm playing the gooseberry here. I'm holding the candle here. Je vois. Je tiens la chandelle ici. Je tiens la chandelle. To take after. This is the DNA. Is it helices? I don't know. The DNA thing. Tenir de. Je tiens de ma mère. I take after my mother. How would you say she takes after her father? Elle tient de son père. Who does he take after? De qui il tient? Or, il tient de qui? Tenir à plus something means it's super important to you or that person. Right? So here we have tenir à plus a noun. Whatever that noun is, it's important, it's of value, you care about it, or if it's a person, same thing. Using nous. We hold dear our little house. So use tenir à plus little house, our little house. Nous tenons à, that's the phrase, notre petite maison. Using to. Do you care about me? Tu tiens à moi? I care a lot about you. Using to. Je tiens beaucoup à toi. Same again, but this time we're using a verb, the infinitive. And that means you are keen, you are anxious to do something, to do an action. It's important to you. You really, really care about it. You want to do it. Tenir à plus infinitive. Monique is eager to meet you. It's important to her. Using vous. Monique tient à vous rencontrer. They're insisting on speaking in French. Ils ou elles tiennent à parler en français. I'm anxious to go out tonight. Je tiens à sortir ce soir. And then the cousin, the pronominal cousin, se tenir. Se tenir means, of course, to hold oneself, but also how do you carry yourself? What is your posture like? And also your behavior. So external and internal. Je me tiens, tu te tiens, il, elle, on se tient. Nous nous tenons, vous vous tenez, ils, elles se tiennent. To stand up, you hold yourself on end. Se tenir debout. They're standing by the bar. Ils ou elles se tiennent debout près du bar. You could use être here. No reflexive. Elles sont debout près du bar. You could say that. They are standing. Ils sont debout. Using vous. Stand up. Now you've got to hook on that reflexive pronoun to the verb with a hyphen. Tenez-vous debout. If you're really angry, you would just shout, debout. Same again, but two. Stand up. So te becomes toi. Hook it on. Tiens-toi debout. Again, for short, you would just shout, debout. To hold oneself, to hold one another, se tenir. Why is he holding himself like that? Pourquoi il se tient comme ça? Why is he holding his head like that? Remember they say holding himself the head. Pourquoi il se tient la tête comme ça? Using nous. We hold hands all the time. Nous nous tenons la main tout le temps, tout le temps, tout le temps. To hold on to, se tenir à. They're not holding on to the banister. Banister is la rampe. Ils ou elles ne se tiennent pas à la rampe. Using to, hold on to the banister. Hold yourself onto the banister. Tiens-toi à la rampe. Vous, hold on to me. Tenez-vous à moi. Maybe if you're on the bus and somebody's wobbling. Ces chaussures ne me tiennent pas aux pieds. That's a funny one. What does that mean, do you think? Get poetic. These shoes don't stay put on my feet. They're too big. I'm slopping around in them. You know, like those kids used to share shoes from brother and sister. Okay, they get very baggy after a while, don't they? So let's talk behaviour now. To behave well or badly. Se tenir bien or tranquille. Tranquille is used a lot. Tranquille means like calm, peaceful. Please be good, like an angel. Se tenir bien also means, you know, stand up straight, have good posture, or behave. Se tenir mal, of course, means the opposite. Bad posture and bad behaviour. The devil. Vous vous tenez bien, vous vous tenez tranquille. Bravo les enfants. You're behaving well. Well done, kids. Tiens-toi bien, Julien. Two different meanings. Either behave yourself or stand up straight, Julien. Shoulders back. Tu te tiens mal, Monique. Two meanings. You have bad posture. You're misbehaving, Monique. Okay. Tenir à des potes. What's potes? Pals. Who are the pals? Retenir. To hold back. We've got that re, which often means back. Retain. Restrain. She's holding her dog back. Stop, prevent. Contenir. Look, we've got a lot of ains now, haven't we? Tain. To contain, to retain. Maintain. Maintenir, which we could say keep or keep up for. Soutenir. Et voilà les amis, nous avons fini. I know there were a lot of expressions. Pick the ones you like. If you don't like any, you don't have to learn any. It all depends on what your goals are for learning French. If you like to read or watch films and understand more, take a bit of time if you can and learn them. Expressions are the key to any language and they can be fun to learn. Make it fun. À la prochaine fois. Au revoir.